going to review ordinance number 276. And this is a follow-up for the one that we just read. Interim zoning ordinance to approve the town with a procedure to follow in reviewing and approving zoning applications. Whereas Montana Code annotated 76-2-306 allows the town, in order to protect the public safety, health, and welfare of the town's citizens, to enact an interim zoning ordinances without following the procedures otherwise required prior to the adoption of the zoning ordinance. This interim ordinance is no longer in effect 6 months from the adoption. However, after proper notice and pursuant to the public hearing, the council may extend the interim ordinance for 1 year. Whereas this ordinance will allow the town to have an interim procedure in place to review and approve zoning applications while the town studies and develops new zoning procedures and regulations. Whereas upon the date of this adoption, upon the date of the adoption of this interim ordinance, the town shall follow the following procedure in reviewing and approving or disapproving zoning applications. Zoning permit required. Zoning permit shall be required for any construction, reconstruction, addition, relocation of a structure, or change of land use, and for permanent signs of all kinds. Zoning permits shall be applied for on a form provided by the town of Fromberg and reviewed according to the procedures set forth in this interim zoning ordinance. Application and approval process for zoning permit. The purpose of the zoning permit is to assure that all building construction development activity complies with the regulations as well as regulations promulgated by other agencies as applicable. The applicant shall file a properly completed application form including a site plan, project description, and any other required supporting materials with the town clerk, who will forward the application to the zoning commission for review. Zoning commission agents shall review the application to determine compliance with zoning regulations. Should the agents find that the application complies with these regulations, the agents will make a favorable recommendation to the town council for approval. However, the agents may impose reasonable conditions on a zoning permit to ensure compliance with the zoning regulations as well as the regulations promulgated by other agencies as they may apply. Once the zoning commission has completed its review, the commission shall make its recommendation to the town council. The council will review the zoning application and the zoning commission recommendation at the next regular council meeting. In emergency circumstances, in the mayor's discretion, the town council may call a special meeting to address zoning application. Revocation of zoning permits. Zoning permits may be revoked for good cause shown. Procedures to revoke zoning permits may only be initiated by the town, and the town council is authorized to revoke a zoning permit. Prior to initiating a permit revocation procedure, the town shall have conducted an inspection of the subject property, thoroughly investigated any complaint, contacted the committee in writing, notifying him of nature of complaints, issues, and other potential violations, and provided the committee or the permittee with every reasonable opportunity to address and correct conditions, violations, or deficiencies. Zoning permit may be revoked based on one or more of the following findings: that the initial application and/or representations made by the applicant in connection with application were fraudulent or otherwise inaccurate and misleading to the extent that the decision to grant the zoning permit was based on influence by said application or representations. The operation of the authorized use of development has become a public nuisance and is an imminent threat to public health, safety, and general welfare. The town council may revoke a zoning permit upon approval of motion by simple majority where findings and cause for the revocation are set forth in the motion to revoke. The permittee shall be notified of the revocation action through a cease and desist order issued by the mayor or his designee. And we're going to have to make a correction in